Michael, what would video do in terms of advertising on Instagram? We still don't see ads on Instagram, so is there really potential there?
I think there's definitely potential for advertising, on Instagram, especially in video. Video has been something that we've seen time after time. Advertisers are really willing to pay a premium for. That being said, the advertising of today on the web is vastly disruptive. What that means is, before you're watching a great clip on Bloomberg.com, you're watching a video pre-roll that's, a few seconds to 30 seconds long. What we don't know in these types of UGC video environments is how are companies like Facebook and Instagram going to be able to monetize them, because the interruptive model of video hasn't traditionally translated well to UGC-like vehicles like Facebook and MySpace and things like that, because people aren't prepared to wait 20 or 30 seconds or even 5 seconds to watch a video from their friend and watch an ad first.
Well, Facebook does have some video advertising products now. They've been rolling out a lot of new products over the last year. How are those products going so far?
I think it's still incredibly early days for those products. I think that we're seeing advertisers that are willing to buy pre-roll across a number of sites, Facebook being one. I don't think we've seen any video product from Facebook that's so special that we're really asking for it by name outside of a lot of the early experimentation. I also think we're missing one of the big questions here. Is this isn't just between Facebook and Twitter. This is really a bigger battle than just advertising dollars on video. This is a question of where are users going to be uploading content from. And we were just talking a moment ago about Facebook versus Twitter. I think there's actually a third platform here being Snapchat. And the reason that Snapchat's important is, I was just at a major music festival in Arkansas a few weeks ago, and users who are on Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat were actually creating a primary amount of their video content on Snapchat, because we've seen social network users move from this kind of big ecosystem from MySpace to a smaller group that's Facebook. We're now seeing closer circles or tribes being built on these new emerging platforms that are not just threatening advertising, but also threatening how we think about social networking in the future.
So what about Vine then? How do you see Vine in terms of competition here? Only 13 million users, but of course under the Twitter umbrella, how much competition is it?
I think Vine's a lot of a serious competition. Vine is an extremely easy to use product. It's intuitive. You can easily create something. Marketers are loving using Vine to create interesting and interactive experiences around their brand. I've actually got some coming over here for dinner tonight. I suspect that they're talking repeatedly about how are we going to be able to use Vine to create really cheap and cheerful, engaging video content. However, that's not them talking about advertising on Vine. It's talking about them using it as users. I think if we look at the users who are taking advantage of Vine, the consumer, it's very intuitive. It's very fun. The question is going to be, is it something that you're going to use repeatedly for the next 2 or 3 years, or is it something you're going to experiment with, make some great vines, and then move back to doing communication with your friends? And that's one of the critical elements here these social networks have to win. Is it's easy to create a product that people use for fun. It's really hard to create a product like Facebook's done successfully and Twitter's done successfully that they're going to use to communicate day in and day out for the long term.
So if Instagram adds video, how much competition, how much of a threat is it to Vine? How much of a threat is it to Snapchat?
I think it's a bigger battle. I think it's a serious threat to Vine in terms of user attention and users creating video. Obviously, every single video that a user creates, whether it's on Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat or Vine, is really important, because if you start losing that share, it becomes harder and harder to sell advertising at scale. You need that. I think towards Snapchat, it's less competition, because Snapchat is doing something that we haven't seen yet in social media for quite some time. It's actually managing to create much smaller communities around people where they want to share content, but not share it for a long time. And I originally thought Snapchat was just for more provocative type of information. But since I've added a number of my friends on Snapchat, I've been able to see them do things that they wouldn't upload to Facebook, but is worthy of a video that's worthy of 10 seconds of your time, not existing forever. I think Facebook's going to have to solve both the video challenge, how do they get users really engaging in video and creating memories in their lives that they want to store on Facebook, but also solving the short-term challenge, which is how do I create a community of those micro moments that Snapchat's done a great job of at scale, so that platforms like Snapchat don't become a larger threat over time.
Facebook now has 1 million users. 1 million advertisers.
That sounds better.
Is that
1
a lot?
million users.
1 million advertisers. Is that a lot?
I think it's a huge number of advertisers. It's obviously significantly less than Google. However, I think what's important in Facebook versus a number of the other kind of earlier stage social networks is the scale and size of the advertisers. Facebook sees advertisers who are investing in 40, 50, 60 countries, spending tens of millions of dollars a year, making significant upfront commitments. That's real advertising. If you take a look at what people are doing on other platforms, whether it's Pinterest or Snapchat or even some of the emerging markets with Vine or Twitter, et cetera, we're not seeing those size of commitments. So the 1 million number is significant, but what's also significant is Facebook has moved beyond experimental to be a large-scale marketing platform that operates globally, which is a huge feat to be in, and really the first social network to be able to do that.